Hello, I'm Mrs. Goss. I'm one of the counselors at Spanish Springs High School. During this PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to talk to you about high school graduation requirements and how to pick your classes for your freshman year. You should have a purple course selection sheet in front of you, and I'm going to take you through filling it out so you will be ready to meet with your high school counselor when we come to your middle schools next week or the week after. We look forward to meeting you, and we can't wait to welcome you to Spanish Springs High School in August of 2026. As you go through the process of selecting your classes for your freshman year, you'll want to refer to the course catalog. That is where you're going to find information about what the prerequisites are for a class, what the requirements are, what outside of class responsibilities and expectations there might be. We want you to make good choices, pick classes that you'll really enjoy, and you want to make sure you understand the requirements for each class. This QR code that you're seeing on the PowerPoint gives you a link to that course catalog, and the QR code is also at the bottom of your course selection sheet, so you have access to that even after you've watched this PowerPoint. You have been given everything that you need to successfully pick the classes you would like to take for your freshman year. You have access to our online course catalog that provides information on all the classes we might potentially offer next year. And you have your purple course selection sheet that you will fill out completely and turn in to us when we meet with you during our course return meetings. I'm now going to take a few minutes to go through graduation requirements. What you see in front of you is a grid that shows the 5 different types of diplomas you can work towards when you come to high school. The first column covers the requirements for the standard high school diploma. These are the minimum requirements you need to meet in order to graduate from high school. It's 23 credits total. You would need to pass 4 years of English, 3 years of math, including Algebra 1 and Geometry, 3 history credits. During your senior year, you'll take a semester of government and a semester of economics. During your junior year, you'll take U.S. history. During your sophomore year, you'll take world history. Every diploma requires completion of 2 years of PE, either through taking PE classes or doing things like sports, completing seasons of sports, or participating in marching band each fall, or doing military science. Every diploma requires a full credit of arts, humanities, or CTE, career and technical education credits in order to graduate. That's a very broad category and will be real easy for you to complete. Each diploma requires a semester of computers and a semester of health. The only diplomas that require world language, a foreign language, are the honors and the honors with college and career ready. But of course, you can take foreign language if you're working towards one of the other diplomas. Those credits would just count towards elective for your diploma. You need to earn 5 credits of elective for the standard diploma, and then you need to earn 2 flex credits. For the class of 2029, our current freshmen, who will be sophomores next year and beyond, this requirement changed from 1 flex credit to 2. And the way you get 2 flex credits while you're in high school, there's one of 3 ways. You can complete a 2-year CTE program, and the second year will give you a flex credit. If you do 2 CTE programs, you can cover both of your flex credits with the second year of each of those programs. You can take a 3rd year of science, and that 3rd year will count for flex. The first 2 years of science are covered for your standard diploma, and then the 3rd would count for flex. Some students choose to take a 4th year of science. That could also count for flex. The last subject that covers flex is math. A 4th year of math would cover flex. The first 3 cover your standard requirement. The fourth could cover flex. So there's several different ways to complete those 2 flex credits while you're in high school if you're working towards that standard diploma, and you'll work with your school counselor each year to make sure you're on track to meet those basic requirements. So 23 credits, no minimum GPA requirement. You just have to earn all of these credits between August of 2026 and your senior year. The next diploma option, the state advanced, is that second column. This diploma is in line with the Millennium Scholarship, which is an automatic scholarship available to Nevada students. If you graduate with an advanced diploma and you meet the other criteria for the Millennium Scholarship, your name will be sent to the State Department and you'll get a letter from the State Department saying you've received the Millennium Scholarship. And if you plan to go to a school in Nevada, you just let them know where they should send the money for that scholarship. So the academic requirements for the state advanced: 4 years of English, 4 years of math, 3 years of science, 3 history, 2 PE, the arts and humanities credit, computers and health. Again, no world language requirement, 6 credits of elective, no flex requirement. That's because each of the rest of the diplomas I'm going to talk about have the flex built in with that requirement of 3 years of science instead of 2 and 4 years of math instead of 3. For the state advanced, you need to complete 24 credits, and when you add your GPA up and divide it and add the weighted value for any honors, advanced placement, or dual credit classes you take during high school, that GPA must equal a 3.25 or higher. The third column is the College and Career Ready with Endorsement diploma. The academic requirements for that diploma are the same as the state advanced. If you do take a CTE program with us and you successfully complete the 2-year sequence with a B average and you pass the 2 completer tests, a workplace readiness exam and a subject-specific exam, you can get on your diploma a sticker that says you are career ready. If your junior year, when you take the ACT, or if you take it again on your own and you score, which the ACT is a college entrance exam, if you score an 18 on the English subtest and a 22 on the math subtest, you will get a career endorsement on your diploma because those scores place you into college level English and math. 3.25 GPA on that diploma as well, 24 credits. The fourth column highlights the honors diploma. Again, 24 credits. The same credit criteria is the same for this diploma, with the addition of the 2 credits of world language. At Spanish Springs, we currently offer Spanish and Paiute. It has to be 2 years of the same foreign language. In addition, 8 of your 24 credits have to have that honors, advanced placement, or dual credit distinction to show that you've challenged yourself academically. And during your junior and senior year, you can't have any Fs on your transcript. So if you fail a class during your junior year or fall semester of your senior year, you have to repeat that class and get the F off your transcript, or you can't graduate with an honors diploma. That last column just shows that you can also get the college and or career ready endorsements on an honors diploma. Now let's look at your purple course selection sheet. Please take a pencil out and neatly print your first and last name on your course selection sheet as it appears in Infinite Campus. Here are your due dates. For Sky Ranch Middle School, your due date is Tuesday, March 10th. For Pinecrest, it's Wednesday, March 11th. And for Shaw, it's Thursday, March 12th. So as we go through this course selection sheet, we're going to look at whether you want to take a class that's a full year class or only a semester. We're going to look at what your required classes are versus what we also recommend you try and take during your freshman year. And we're going to encourage you to pay attention to prerequisites to make sure you are eligible to take the classes you're interested in taking next year. Okay, here's a screenshot of your course selection sheet. As I mentioned on the previous slide, you should now have your first and last name printed neatly at the top, along with the due date for your specific school. I'll be going through each section of this course selection sheet and walking you through how to fill it out completely so that you'll be ready for your meetings with your counselors. If you turn your purple course selection sheet over, you'll see that we have put on the back freshman recommended and elective course options. We show you which PE classes you're eligible to take as an incoming freshman. We have 9th grade only PE, a lifetime fitness class, power walking, and athletic weights if you plan to play a sport for Spanish Springs High School. Underneath it, we have options for arts, humanities, and CTE, which also count for elective if you want to take multiples. And then we have classes at the bottom that are strictly elective options. Okay. This year, Signature Academies are no longer a thing at high school. There are no longer application processes. The district is moving towards what they call a CTE for all stance. So if you want to do sports medicine, for example, the first class in sports med is Principles of Health Science. So you would just put that class as one of your top elective choices, and we will put your requests in the computer along with everybody else's, kind of similar to a lottery when the computer schedules. 100 and some odd kids will get seats in Principles of Health Science, and then the rest will go on to pick one of their alternatives. So make sure when you're putting your electives on, you're picking the classes and putting them down in order of what you want most to least, and know that there's no Signature Academy application any longer. So everyone is open to take Principles of Health Science for Sports Med or any of our media classes for our C3 Media program. On this slide, I'm going to talk with you about how to select classes. We want you to have conversations with your core teachers and get their recommendations, especially if you're looking to take Honors English, Formal Geometry, and/or Honors Biology. We want you to review the course options on the back of your course selection sheet. We want you to read the course descriptions in the course catalog before selecting classes to put on the front of your course selection sheet. We want to make sure you fill in all 4 elective choices with different classes on each line. Please have your parents sign off on the bottom, and then you're going to bring your completed form to school with you on your designated due date so you're ready to turn it in when you meet with your counselor. Here we have an example of a course description. So if you go into the course catalog and you're looking for information on a class, this is what it's going to look like. This example is for speech and debate. You'll see that this class is a full year class. Towards the right side, it says course number, and it has 2 numbers, one for the fall and one for the spring. You're going to write both numbers on your course selection sheet. You would write 6411, speech and debate, and then 6412, speech and debate on the other line to equal a whole year class. This class has a fee of $50 because there are tournaments and transportation fees involved. It gives you a description of what's involved in the class. So you want to make sure for any class you're thinking about taking that you've read this description, you understand the requirements, and you'll be able to meet them if you're in this class next year. Here is a close-up of the required courses section of your course selection sheet. This is where you are marking your choices for English, math, and science, and having your teachers sign off and initial if you're wanting to take an honors class. So for freshmen, your options are non-honors English 1-2 or honors English 1-2. And as you see in the example, the teacher has initialed on the honors English and signed where the teacher signature spot indicates. The student wants to take Algebra 1, and the teacher signed on that line. And then under Science, for the first time, we have an Honors Biology option. So you have regular non-honors biology or honors biology. And this student wants to take honors biology, so they got their teacher's initials and their signature. So that is what the required courses section should look like for each. I'd like to give you a little more information about choosing a math class for your freshman year. If you are currently taking Algebra 1 in 8th grade and you're struggling a little bit, we do recommend that you repeat Algebra 1 as a freshman so that you can get a good foundation in Algebra 1, as you will need to get up to Algebra 2 during your junior year. And those students who don't have a strong foundation in Algebra 1 often struggle when they get into Algebra 2. If you are earning A's and B's or B's in both semesters of Algebra 1 in 8th grade, we do recommend that you take formal geometry or non-honors geometry in 9th grade, because those A's and B's show that you are prepared to move on from Algebra 1 into geometry. If you are currently in Math 8, you will be enrolled in Algebra 1 for 9th grade. If you're on an IEP, your case manager will recommend an appropriate math course for your freshman year. Now let's move to the middle section of your course selection sheet where it says recommended courses. As I mentioned when I went through the diploma options and the standard diploma requirements for graduation, all diploma options require a semester of computers and a semester of health, 2 years of PE, and that at least 1 credit of arts and humanities. And so we really encourage you to try and get some of those courses completed during your freshman year, because during your freshman year you only have 3 core requirements of English, math, and science. In 10th and 11th you have 4 core requirements because history gets added in. So you're taking English, math, science, and history in 10th and 11th grade, which takes away an open spot. So we really encourage you to take computers and or health. Each are a semester-long class, at least a year of PE, and some sort of arts, humanities, or CTE designated class so that you can start taking care of those other core requirements for all diplomas. In this section, you can also see that there's a link to the course selection page. This PowerPoint will be uploaded onto that web page, so you can always refer back to it or share it with your parents. And then the course catalog, as we've talked about, there's the QR code for that as well. Let's go over the ways you can satisfy your computer literacy and health requirements for graduation from high school. Currently, there are 2 classes that you can take that will cover the computer science and applications requirement. There's either a semester-long computer science and applications class, or if you're more interested in taking a deeper dive in computers and coding, you can take the Advanced Computer Science 1 class. As long as you pass both semesters, the second semester will count for your computer science requirement for graduation. As far as health goes, there are 3 ways that you can satisfy that health requirement. You can either take the semester-long health class, or if you take and get a spot in Principles of Health Science, if you pass both semesters, the second semester counts for health. Or if you participate in our military science program, the first 2 years you can get PE exemptions for participating in military science. And if you successfully complete year 3 and pass both semesters of the 3rd year, the second semester counts for health. In order to graduate from high school, all students need to earn 4 semesters of PE, regardless of the diploma option they're working towards. As I mentioned on a previous slide, the options for 9th graders are PE, it's a 9th grade only general PE where you do a variety of team sports, Lifetime Fitness where you're doing more isometric training, circuit training and such, power walking, or athletic weights. And for athletic weights, you must be planning to try out for a Spanish Springs High School sport team. Students can also earn PE exemptions. If you are a military science student, you can earn up to 4 PE exemptions by completing 4 semesters of military science. If you participate in marching band each fall semester for 4 years, you can get up to 4 PE waivers. If you complete a season of a school sport, you can receive a waiver, and you can do that up to 4 times. Waivers do not give you credit, they just allow you to take an elective course instead. They waive the PE requirement and move the credit requirement to elective. Now I'd like you to focus on the electives section of your course selection sheet. You will have already filled out the top part, conversing with your teachers, getting those signatures. You'll be deciding what recommended classes you'll want to take, and then you're going to fill the rest of your requests with electives and additional course requests. You only need to put a class on your course selection sheet once. So, for example, if you put concert choir in the arts humanities section of your course selection sheet, you do not need to write that again in the elective section. Put 4 other classes in the elective section. Okay, so this example shows that the student wants to take concert choir. They have written the 2 different course numbers, one for fall, 6801, and one for spring, 6802, and wrote concert choir in each blank for their first choice. For their second choice, they chose teaching and training and wrote the 2 course numbers there. Their third choice is web design, and they wrote the 2 course numbers there, one for fall, one for spring. And then for their fourth elective choice, they picked 2 semester-long classes. They picked sports literature and put that course number down, and then because that is only a semester-long class, they picked history through film as the other class they'd like to take for their fourth choice. So you'll want to make sure you fill each of these sections out completely and do not repeat classes. Okay, please take time, look at the back side of your course selection sheet, explore what those different options are in the course catalog, and make good choices on your course selection sheet. Here are a couple quick reminders. Please talk with your current 8th grade core class teachers to see what they recommend you should take in 9th grade, especially if you're considering taking honors courses, and make sure you get those initials and signatures in each section. Make sure you show this course selection sheet to your parents and involve them in the picking of your classes for next year, and make sure they complete the bottom section of the course selection sheet. And please bring your completed course selection sheet to school on your designated due date. Okay, we're wrapping it all up here. I just wanted to show you a full screenshot of a completed course selection sheet so you can see how it should look once you're all done. Student's name is at the top with the due date. The required courses have X's next to the classes the student wants to take with initials by the teacher and signatures. The middle, the student has filled out what recommended courses they want to take. And then in the electives, they have picked 4 different elective classes that they haven't listed anywhere else on the course selection sheet. And then at the bottom, they had their parent sign off and fill in their information. At Spanish Springs High School, counselors are divided up by alphabet, by your last name. So in this example, your counselor, if your last name starts with A, B, or C through CHQ, Mrs. Anderson is your counselor. If your last name starts with C, starting with CHR, D, E, F, or G up to GOL, Mrs. Goss is your counselor. Students whose last names start with GOM through the end of G, H, I, J, K, and L up to LAL would have Mrs. Bartmus. Those whose last names start with LAM through M, N, O up to ORN have Mrs. Harris. Students whose last names start with an O, R, O, P, Q, R, or S up through SMH have Mrs. Gonzalez. And those students whose last names start with SMI, T, U, V, X, W, Y, and Z are Mrs. Myers. Okay, you will get to meet us when we come to your schools. We encourage you to take this process seriously and fill your course selection sheet out completely and with good consideration, because after June 5th, students are not allowed to make schedule changes unless they're for the following reasons. Either you've been placed into the wrong level of a course subject, or you are being placed into a class that you've already received credit for in high school, or you have an incomplete schedule. We can make changes to your course requests after spring break. So if you change your mind, you can reach out to your counselor directly, or you can ask your middle school counselor to reach out to us. But those changes can't be made after school gets out. Okay, so you can make request changes up until the last day of school this year, but once we go out for summer, your requests are locked in. We've come to the end of this presentation. On this slide, you'll see the QR code for the link to the Class of 2030 course selection page where you can find this presentation if you want to refer back to it. We look forward to the Q&A session where we'll be zooming in to answer any questions you might have about this process. So please write them down on your course selection sheet so you're ready. And then we will see you when we come to the middle schools to pick up your course selection sheets. Thank you and have a great day.